Hey Mercedes,
How may I help you?
load my personal profile.
Okay, your profile is loading.
Welcome to the new generation C-Class where your voice is the master of the car. So this looks like a baby S-Class, but it not just looks like an S-Class, it actually functions like an S-Class because as you can see, these interiors are sensational. You have this large cascading portrait style 11.9-inch screen. You have a 12.3-inch digital cluster. Everything is capacitive inside the car. You can barely even find a physical hard key. Welcome to 2022. Now, while the C-Class comes in 3 different variants, a petrol model and 2 diesel models, the technology remains identical. So, you have this portrait screen which dominates the entire center console, is very well integrated. It's slightly angled towards the driver as well, so it's easier to reach. And of course, like I said, you can use your voice. Also, you can log in with just your fingerprint, like your smartphone. That's it, you're in.
Of course, you can even use the connected car app called Mercedes Me to log in remotely and carry out functions like engine start-stop, pre-cool the cabin, monitor vehicle health and vitals, open and close the doors, windows, and a whole lot more.
You're greeted with tech the moment you enter the new C-Class. So the moment you actually log in with your biometrics or your voice, the car will actually set up the seating position, the steering position, the ambient light color, the source that you were listening to last, and even the climate settings. It is fantastic. It really makes you feel one with the car and so much more personalized than anything else I've seen. Up to 7 different users can log in using biometrics or their voice, and once you're inside the car, the steering wheel becomes your primary source of interfacing with the car. So the right thumb pad controls the digital instrument cluster and the left thumb pad controls the main infotainment screen. In theory, it should work well because it's very intuitive, but in practice, the buttons don't have the right amount of haptic feedback and they're also not the most accurate. So you have to take your eyes off the road sometimes just to know what your fingers are feathering over. The one thing that really does not befit a car of this price is the stock audio system. Now, while the C300D gets the full fat Burmester experience, this stock C200 gets just 4 full range speakers. So you have one small speaker on each door, and that's that. End of story. You do get a center channel speaker, but that's mostly just for the voice guidance and the Hey Mercedes systems. Also, the seats appear to be perforated, but they're not ventilated. Again, at this price point, that I think is a big miss by Mercedes. That should have been definitely added, especially in our conditions. Finally, we get wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto in a C-Class. Yay! And you also do get wireless phone charging. You get a USB-C port right here. You get 2 other USB-C ports in the center armrest, which can be used by the rear passengers because at the back there are no dedicated USB ports. You will have to let them use the center armrest USB-C ports. Tuck the wire out. It might be a bit unwieldy, but that's the only workaround. The most impressive thing about the new C-Class and all its screens and tech is the responsiveness and just the graphic quality. It's super quick, lag-free, and the wireless implementation of the CarPlay is the best I've seen on any car, any brand, any model by far. You get 3 rows of icons in your Apple CarPlay, which means you have 15 different apps right at your fingertips. And even Google Maps, I've never seen it look so rich. It's fantastic.
Noteworthy here is how Mercedes has managed to keep the often used virtual climate controls visible in plain sight at all times. So there's no need to fumble about with endless touchscreen menus just to set your desired fan speed or temperature. If you want to go all screen, this is how you do it.
The same great resolution also bears true for the rear view camera. As you can see, it's crisply detailed, fantastic resolution. You can get a super wide view of things at the back of the car. Also gets active guidelines, even gets park assist because this new C-Class has mild ADAS. It gets a camera and a radar in the front grille. So you do get park assist, you also get active brake assist. The other new changes to this Mbux system are the 3D maps. They are powered by here and they actually give you a realistic 3D view if you're close to a big public monument. So it just adds a bit more immersiveness and a bit more believability to the onboard maps. The other new thing is the Car2X technology, which means that if there is another Mercedes in the vicinity and if it faces an accident or a collision, or it actually senses something on the road which you should be aware of, it actually sends information via the cloud and it's relayed back to this car as a notification, so you can be better prepared for what's oncoming. The 12.3-inch instrument cluster also gets 3 different styles. You get understated, you get sport, and you get classic. All of them are very richly detailed. You get a lot of features right in your line of sight, shows a lot of data. And for the passenger, there's a bit of fun as well. If just for the driver, the gauges are not enough, you can actually replicate some of the gauges on the big 11.9-inch portrait screen as well. So even the passenger can feel a bit more involved in the driving process. Overall, the new C-Class cabin has seen a big step up over the last generation in terms of fit, finish, the material quality and selection. It's all top notch. Some things like the brushed aluminium door handles feel and look fantastic. The AC vents, the turbine-like AC vents, they have ambient light built inside them, which looks fantastic. Even the pinstripe, it's not to everyone's taste, but it looks very mature and very opulent. Still, there are some things that should have been a bit more old school, like for example the seat controls. Now they are not even haptic, they're capacitive, which means when you actually want to move the seat forward, the seat moves forward but nothing happens to the button, it's actually fixed. That just sends a wrong signal to your brain and you want the button to move. Mercedes, please change that. Also, the touch bar, it's nice, it looks fantastic, it's floating, but it's a single piece device, so that means when you actually press on one side of the touch bar, the entire thing moves. Doesn't really give a great impression of quality. Even the sound on this stock, the C200 version, is just fairly acceptable. It's nothing even remotely close to the Burmester experience you get in the C300D with its 15 speakers and 700 watts. So this really feels like a step down in terms of sound quality compared to the other variants. Apart from that, in terms of quality, fit and finish, like I said, it's a place you don't want to leave in a hurry.